Got a call about a 10,000 watt Generac generator that wouldn't start. And when I say heavy, this thing, I guarantee you it's probably 600 pounds, if it's anything. Unbelievably heavy. To try and pull it up into my truck, the back truck with the ramps. Oh my God, I almost got a hernia. Nobody helped me, of course. They just left it outside. It took a husband and wife just to drag it out of the garage. Anyway, finally got it up in the truck, brought it home. James, how you doing, buddy? Got it in the truck, brought it home. I dropped the tailgate down, and I said 99% of the time it's stupid stuff when generators don't start, gas, whatever. This 10 horsepower Generac generator has so many covers on it. You'd have to spend an hour taking covers off and the fuel tank off just to get to the carburetor to see anything. So on a hunch, and I've had the same thing happen to me before, when people shut off the gas and the fuel filters get dry, sometimes it takes a while for them to open back up and, saturate with fuel and get flowing and all that stuff. So I turned the fuel on. I waited a few minutes. Nothing. Took a little starter fluid. It popped on starter fluid, so I knew the engine was good. So I raised up the filter so it was above the carburetor. Let gravity help me out. And she started. And a little bit of choke. Turned the choke off. Everything was good. So it ran good. It actually ran great. And then I noticed it had like a Sendec hour meter on it. And I looked at that hour meter. It only showed 7.5 hours. So I asked the guy, how old is this thing? He said, 3-4 years old. I said, you only run it for 7 hours? He said, yeah. He's on the road a lot. He has a home for his wife and kids. So what's cool about these high dollar Generacs, this thing must have cost at least $3,000 or $4,000. Hey, Nick. Uh-oh. Don't let me keep you up, Nick. Work comes first. You got to be number one for work. Don't. This is just BS here. So if you got to go to bed, by all means, get your rest so you're fresh, bright and early, Just talking about a Generac 10 kilowatt generator. But anyway, this V-twin engine, the way they make this generator, you can't work on anything. You have to remove an hour's worth of crap just to get to anything. So anyway, make a long story short, the Sendec hour meter tells you, based on hours, when to replace oil filter, air filter, spark plugs, and all that. So I clicked on it, and it said 7.5 hours. And normally for the oil, it's 30 hours. So sure as heck, you hit the button, it says oil due 22.5 hours. Okay, 22.5, 7.5, 30 hours. Okay, so click it again. Plugs due like 50 hours. Oil filter due 22.5 hours. So I call a guy up and I says, I'm an ethical guy. I'm not going to rob you. I said, this thing really doesn't need anything. I mean, it needed the fuel line cleaned and the fuel filter and all that. I says, but other than that, he wanted me to dump all the fuel out of it. I said, dude, you got 10 gallons of fuel in this thing and it's all stabilized fuel. It doesn't smell bad. I said, what the hell am I going to do with 10 gallons of fuel? Where are you going to put it? So I said to him, I said, look, it runs good. Everything is good. And I said, I'll run it for a half hour, make sure it's cool. I said, but I'll bring it back tomorrow. And I told him, give me a few bucks, whatever. But then I said to him, I said, run it. I said, run it for an hour each day for, a week. And then put some fresh, today, after work today. I left work, 4 o'clock. I worked my 10 hours. Then I went and picked up this Generac 10 kilowatt generator. But I said to the guys, I'm not going to rob you because, I could be a thief and charge you and put in new oil, new air filter, and all that. Didn't 7.5 hours. The thing's brand new. It was run one night. One night he ran it. I can't do that ethically. I'm not going to charge him. Oh, I'm changing oil. I'm doing this, doing that. I don't work that way. And that's why people come back to me, because I am fair and I am honest. So anyway, he was happy about that. So he's not going to be home tonight. He said, oh, drop it off tomorrow. I'll pay you, whatever. I said, okay. So hopefully another good customer. He's got a bunch of lawn equipment that he says basically he's on the road now, so he can't use it. So, but if it ever needs servicing, whatever, got a new customer. So not even broken in 7.5 hours, not even. It's a beautiful V-twin. I guarantee you this thing was $4,000, if nothing. I mean, 10,000, beautiful Generac, looks like brand new. all kinds of sensors and this and that. But the way just to get to the air cleaner, you got to sandwich your hand in between the fuel tank and an air cleaner on top of a V twin, and you got this much room. And then you got a little, not even a wing nut. It's a nut that's quarter turn, and then it pops out. Unbelievable. Even to get the air filter in and out is a pain in the butt. But anyway, he's happy. I'm happy. It runs. Quick few bucks to buy more coffee or donuts, whatever. Anyhow, I'm thinking about what I should do next saw-wise. Got a bunch of choices. Well, that's the thing. I got a bunch of choices now. I got the 346 that I ran to get together with Maddie. That's got a little score in the piston. I may just be able to put a piston in it, but I'd really like to take the saw all the way down, whatever I do, and get it. So I've got the 262 XP that I bought. That is mint as far as the cylinder and piston, no marks at all. I've got the 340 that's straight gassed that Maddie gave me some 350 top ends, highway kits, so I can make that into a 350. I could do that. I bought a 346 OEM kit that I was going to convert the 342 because Maddie gave me a couple riser blocks to try. And like I said, the 359 I just got. So I've got a lot of choices. I'm just curious as what do you guys want to see? Because I'd love to be able to take one of them, build it up, run up to Maddie's house and kick his butt, One thing I learned this weekend at the get-together, and Maddie was showing me this too, you really gotta, 5 days? Where you going, James? What's going on? Hope everything's all right. Vacation? Hopefully something decent. Oh, Sergio. Oh, that's recovery, about 5 days? They're going to put you out for the 5 days for recovery? Is that why you're saying that? I know sometimes they induce you into a comatose state to heal and all that stuff. So, but prayers to you, James. We're keeping him every night. So hopefully God's listening to us, and in 5 days you'll come back raring to go. So, like I said, we're praying for you, my friend. One thing about the 340. Well, Nikki, what you were saying too about pulling the plug, I put a brand new, was it BPM R7A, I think it was, plug in a second before we ran the saws. So those 2 runs are the only runs on that plug. So I was going to take the plug out and show you guys what the plug looks like to see, because it's all it's got on it is those 2 runs, nothing else on it. So I'd be curious to see if it's a little golden brown or what it is. But I saw Dave Young, the kid with the Milwaukee shirt that really knew what was going on, show one of the other guys who was running, I think, a 372. He was like pushing it a certain way or something, and Dave's like, no. And if you look back in some of the videos on OPE, you'll see once Dave Young showed him how to hold the saw when you're doing those cuts, this kid was cruising through it like it was butter. So maybe the way that I was holding the saw and the way that I attacked it, because I'm not familiar with that, I don't do it. Maybe that hurt me in the end, toward the bottom of the cuts. Yeah, the 359 for now just needs a good cleaning. You're right. And I got to put the metal clamp on the intake because it still has a plastic clamp. Even though it doesn't leak, I'm going to replace the boot and the clamp just for insurance. And I'll probably, when I clean it, I'll probably strip it down to clean it and do a leak test at that vacuum pressure test just to see what's going on. But anyway, I think it's just me and you, Nick. So let's just wish James well, Godspeed, and hopefully 5 days from now, James, we'll see you back on here raring to go. So God bless you, and we'll say our prayers for you, James. Good luck to you, pal. Good luck. I went online today on eBay and I bid on a 350. It needs some work. The guy wanted, it was 100 and what the hell was it? 125, I think he said. 125. So I bid 70. It was free shipping. And because I figure I can make it into something. And he comes back with a counter offer for my 70. He went from 125 to 115. So I just said no. I'm not going to spend that much. Maddie has me now where if I see a saw that's either been straight gassed or needs work like that, $50. If there's shipping involved, up to 100 maybe. But in this case, I have 4 already, 3 of that series, so I really didn't need it. If I could get it delivered for $70, okay, I'll do that. So that's what I tried to do, but he didn't accept the offer. We'll see where it goes. Like I said, it's not buy it now. He's taking bids. He has it listed for 125, and just to me, a 350 that needs to be totally torn down, 125 is too high. I mean, like I said, I'll go 70, 75 maybe, but not 100, 125. That's just too much, Timmy, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, we got all our prayers for James. We're gonna wish him well. We're talking about what I should do next, Tim, with all the saws I have. Nikki was saying just clean up the 359 since the cylinder's so nice. Just clean it up and keep it for now. I'll probably put a bar and chain on it. The 346 that I raced Maddie with a couple scores on it, I want to see what the other side looks like on the intake side. See if it's scored there as well, to see what really happened to it. It could have just been carbon in there that, people run it so rich sometimes with oil that the carbon builds up and scores the cylinder and locks up a ring. So I've seen that too. Like I said, the 262, perfect cylinder and piston. 25. I'll spend more than that on parts, that's for sure. But I was cruising to looking at some parts today, and it's funny. Maddie was talking the other day about hardware, and I'm missing 2 of the screws that hold the starter for the 359. And it's funny. Like I said, I don't mean to goof on Randy's engine repair, because Randy Duncan's a great guy, and he has all kinds of parts that you always need. But he's asking like $12 for one screw. What, are you kidding me? The dealer has them for $1.99, but just, I couldn't believe that when I did a search for it. The first thing that comes up was Randy's engine repair, $12.99. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, you buy 4 or more and you get like 5% off. It's like crazy for a screw. Unbelievable. Justin, welcome, buddy. Welcome. Did you catch my thing? I used your chain. They were joking on my chain, saying it was too good of a chain. I shouldn't have used it. Maddie was saying I was cheating because I had a chain that was better than what he had. But anyway, hey, he had hours and hours of porting and everything else in his saw. I had a stock with a couple of scores in a 346 that I grabbed at a farm show. But anyway, had fun. Definitely had fun. I don't know if if Maddie's coming on tonight. Today is his 7 to 7 day, so it's a long day for him. So I don't know if he's going to be on. But gonna 500. But next time they're not due in the States until next spring. It was cool seeing them. There was 2 of them there. It was nice seeing them. Hopefully, Tim, it's just a little bit of buildup and I can get it off. No big deal. I'm not worried. I'm just hoping that it was just a little bit of carbon buildup that caused a little bit of scoring on the piston. Hopefully, I got a ball hole and other stuff. I could do whatever I need to it. But we were talking, I don't know who it was, if it was somebody was talking to me today, maybe it was Nikki, about when you do the gasket delete, you're actually changing the timing because you're dropping all the ports down, 30 thousandths or whatever you're doing. And sometime, Lucky 7, how you doing, buddy? Did you get that brake job done? I saw you on there before. You had a short live stream, but I saw you were putting the rotors on last time I saw you. Hopefully that job's all done on that Volkswagen Passat. Anyway, when you take the base gasket out, you're dropping it 20, 30 thousandths and all your time is getting, not screwed up, but changed. What's going to happen and what's going to be the cause? I mean, I'm going to do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to do these mods and all that stuff. I'm a little leery about no gasket and just using the 3-bond, but it seems like everybody's doing it. And if, like I said, I'm not a wood cutter. I don't really cut wood. I don't really burn that much wood. I mean, my family will go to Stop and Shop and buy a package of little logs and burn them for Christmas. That's about it. But I just love building the saws, and Justin up there at L&R and all those guys. I love talking to those guys about just saws and crap and just having fun, Yeah, I mean, you can do the flywheel key, but I'm just wondering though, because someone was talking about porting though. We port and we take off material, but if you've dropped the ports, you'd have to add material to bring it back where it was, if it's good. Now, the thing is, I'll probably put the degree wheel on it, see exactly what all the transfers, intake and exhaust look like first, blow down and all that. And then based on that, I'll do it based on the numbers. But looking at Mastermind's videos and all those guys, you really got to look at all the numbers first of where your timing is before you do anything. But I'm not adverse to using a little JB Weld in there or something to build up, a little shelf or whatever I need. I don't care. You just want to avoid that. What do they call that? The death ridge, where on the intake side, if it's too sharp and it's too much of an angle, it'll rip the ring off. So I just want to avoid that. But definitely a hell of a time. I wish more people went that I knew. I mean, I didn't know anybody there basically besides Maddie. I mean, I met everyone, but I was only able to stay 3 hours because my daughter had a graduation. But I tell you, guys, I got the fever, though. You see those things, especially that guy, Dave Young. Thumbs up to that guy, boy. Unbelievable. He had a 346 XP, and he goes, oh, you mind checking out my RPM? So I had my TAC with me, my DTI 20K. Brought over 15 grand the guy's running. Now, normally Husky says 14.7 is usually what they max out at. I don't know. I don't think it's a limited coil in it, but 14.7. He tuned it right to about 15. And like I said, he handed Maddie his lunch. And even Maddie was like, whoa. But every saw that Dave had, I don't know if he's doing porting or whatever, but man, do those things run. Unbelievable. What a guy. I really want to get to know that guy because whatever he's doing, I want to copy it. Because at first, talking about these saws, I was talking, I actually had a discussion, one-sided, of course, with Brad Sneller, the Snellerize guy. And I said to him, give me, if you have any tips or anything, I'd like, to beat Maddie. And he never responded. I did that on Arborist site. I did a private message with him, but I'm sure he's busy. And then I see M. Weeba. He's got M. Weeba 1. He's got a bunch of videos on some of the porting stuff. But the 359 is really popular. But they say that 346 XP is just such a high revving, high power saw that you could literally make it into a champion cutter. So pretty cool. Tune it up till you melt it. Yeah, that's true too. It was weird though, because at mine, when I started to race, after the first race, I tried to tune it up a little bit. I think that's all the carb I had in it, because when I tried to lean it out a little bit more, it wasn't really doing anything. So I think that was it. I think what I had in it was it. I think I was at 13,000. I didn't even get above that. It was the carb. I don't know, because of the score, maybe a little less compression, but it seemed to like max out around 13,000. So we'll see. Yeah, I tell you, if you guys are lucky, if you're looking for a good tack, I know it's not cheap. It's $100 from Amix Superstore. It's $99.99, but the DTI TT20K, love that saw. Walt uses it. He actually uses it with the wire and the clip that goes on the plug. I just use it wirelessly. Just hold it. It says it'll work up to 15 inches away from a wire. So I love that tack. It's a great tack. Could be, yeah, absolutely could be, Nikki. Could be. That's why I want to take it out. You talking about on the new one? I don't know if mine has the limiter. It might though. That would explain it. That would definitely explain it then. No matter what I twisted it to, it would. Yeah, that could explain it. I would have to look up the part number, Justin, to see if it is a limited coil. As far as I know, the saw's original. I don't think it's been taken apart. It was kind of filthy. The blue coil is the limited. I know that. We'll have to. Where are you, Lucky? I heard the accent, so I'm sure you're in New England. Where are you? You, I think you're north of me, though, right? What are you, Mass, Vermont, New Hampshire? What are you? Yeah, black is unlimited. Yep. This one, mine, I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? You're right. There's a blue coil in there. It's a limited coil. That's why I only got to go 13,000. That's it. That's it. No kidding. It is a blue coil. I remember when I was putting it together last week, I did see, after I took the grease off, it was blue underneath. So it is a limited coil. Yep. Oh, Rhode Island. Okay. Yeah. So you're an hour and, 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes from me. I'm in like the Bridgeport area in Trumbull. So you're not too bad. I love Block Island. We used to go when we were kids, and I love the T-shirts for Block Island. The sign says, Block Island, 2 miles. Please roll up windows. Used to love those T-shirts, But all blue, meaning they're all rev limited, I'm assuming, right? Oh, okay, Pawtucket, Cumberland. That's not bad. I have a friend in Norton, Mass, which is close to you. I used to go visit him all the time. I still do. I collect International Harvester Cup Cadet tractors, and my buddy Jim's up in Norton, Mass, which is real close to you. So I would go up there all the time. The 2153 though, is that like a 353 or is it similar to a 346? I don't know the Johnsrid numbering system. Do they use the last numbers as the CC? Did you guys all see the stuff on Dolmar now? It's all going to be called Makita with red color. Ah. Yeah, so that's what screws me up with steel, too. The numbers don't mean anything. One good thing about the Husky, you look at the number, you can tell series and CC. It's plain as day, which I like. Double bowl carburetor? Oh, just 2 barrel? 48, that'd be scary. It's a long 346 XP. Okay. Yeah, steel numbering. I'll never get it. I'll never know. All I know is someone told me you have to get the saws with the even numbers. The ones with the odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, are homeowner grade. Even numbers are commercial or professional grade. And then if you get the ones that say pro, of course, Yeah, that'd be kind of weird. 49 miles an hour. What's the center of gravity of that thing? How tall is it? Man, I'd be scared to drive that thing that fast. Oatmeal raisin cookies. Love them. Yeah, you're in a league of your own, Tim. How's the weather down there, Tim? We had a wicked thunder boomer last night. It was like a flood for 1 hour. Someone chimed in, I think from Ohio. He was saying how I get their weather an hour later. I mean, a day later. What'd you do, like a pulley swap on it, Lucky? Where you change it to the bigger pulley so you can fly? Yeah, I was watching him do a video today. He was doing, I think, a Volkswagen Passat brake job. He had a couple live streams. It's pretty cool. Lucky, do you ever watch Amesy, the guy up there in New Hampshire? Amesy's Corner. He's like you with the shop doing brakes and engines and all kinds of stuff like that. Cool, good channel, Amesy. Yeah, it was weird. I was texting you on that live stream, Nikki, but then when it saved, it didn't get the text I said afterwards. It still allowed us to chat, even though the stream was ended. But then when it saved and you called it back up, it didn't show up. I saw there was a lady on there. I forget her name, but there was a lady on Lucky's live stream. She chimed in with some thumbs up. Oh, 5-3. Okay. Wow. Almost 2-1. That's a good ratio. Hey, I remember years ago, we do brake jobs. We didn't know about asbestos back in the 60s and 70s. We're eating our lunch. You had brake dust all over your hand. You're just eating your lunch. You didn't care. I'll never forget crumb cake. Guy would bring us crumb cake, and we'd grab them, and all the dust on our hands. We didn't care. I mean, knock wood. Hopefully, no asbestosis. But I tell you, where I live, next town over, one of them is Stratford, home of Raybestos. That's where all the asbestos was made. So tons of people around here that had that asbestosis, whatever the heck it is, that mesothelioma from asbestos. Good and sunny. Well, that's cool. Yesterday it was 85 degrees, poured like hell for an hour. Today barely hit 70. Windy, real windy. Those are fun to pick out. I've had days like that, Lucky. Yeah, but Lucky, let me ask you a question. You're doing a live stream. You don't have 1,000 subscribers. Are you using a computer or a Chromebook like me? Because you can't use a portable device if you don't have 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, New England. We go from winter to summer. You turn the heat on one day, next day I got to put the AC on. Lucky, I bought this Chromebook I'm using now because I only have like 83 subscribers, and they cut me off. Anyone, you have to have 1,000 subscribers to do the live stream. So I said, screw you. I bought a Chromebook, $150 or $159. But so yeah, I think what I'll do next. My customers are slowing down a little bit, thank God, because I think most of my mower business is they're cutting, so I'm good. I want to get that 346 looked at, see what's going on with that, clean up that 359 just to see what's going on, and then I still got that stupid 136 on the bench. Everything's ready to go. I just haven't had time to finish it. Got to get that going. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I love having customers, and L&R up there, they'll attest I'm in there every week, at least once or twice a week now with parts and stuff. And it's crazy. I mean, just, one after the other, and it's all day off. Who'd you bribe to get that? Yeah, but usually it's just one day a week, right? I just don't know if I had to work like every Saturday, missing like some of these events and stuff. I couldn't do it. I couldn't deal with that. I would have to play hooky a few times, Yeah. Did he ever have Monday off? I thought for a while there he was doing Mondays off or something. I don't know. I was even toying around with the idea of asking if he wants to sell the place. My retirement, run a shop like that. That's true. Absolutely true. Absolutely. But just imagine if that was next door and the other big parking, big this, big that. I mean, crazy. But guys do all right though. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it pays crap too, just so I mean, look at my place. I mean, people to start off the street, you have a pulse and you want to work on an off shift, they're willing to give you like $23, $24 an hour. And that's pretty good money, Wow, 150 a day. How many technicians though, Tim? Or did you just plan it out so you got to it when you got to it? Oh, Justin, my buddy was telling me Martinka took 5 truckloads to the dump of old Deeres. They didn't even care what it was. They just loaded it and got not dump scrap metal and got scrap metal for it. My buddy was screaming. They had like mint condition hoods and this and that. They said, nope, scrap value. Unbelievable. They sold, supposedly it's for sale. That's what they were telling my buddy, it's for sale. So, or they sold it. I don't know. But just the stuff that I saw, a 1958 or 59 Gravely, like mint condition that they didn't want to work on, went in the dump. Unbelievable. I cried, stuff like that. Unbelievable. I needed a hood for STX 38 I'm working on, okay? There's like 50 of them there. Nope, garbage, dump. Crazy. Unreal. But, one thing I was saying too, I got 2 brand new chains from you guys, and I go up there, and Maddie handed me a wire brush. And I go, what's this for? He says, you got to wipe the dirt off the logs. I didn't realize when the logs were rolling around in the mud, the dirt piled up. It ruined probably half a dozen chains before we really started getting crazy about making sure there was no dirt in the bark. Because you see the competitions, there's no bark. It's nice, clean wood. Well, we had a bunch of logs that had bark, thick oak, logs with bark and all that. And man, it just ruined so many nice chains up there. Oh God. There was one guy though, I forget his name. First cut, borrowed saw, borrowed chain. Okay. First cut, he hits a screw or a nail I think it was like a spike in the log. You saw a spark. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the one where the chain came off and whipped into his chaps and cut his chaps. But he was saying, yeah, his luck. He borrows a saw, he borrows a chain, he hits a spike or he hits a nail or whatever he hit, you know. But yeah, you're right. Bark is dirt compacted, really. And I didn't look at my chain yet. I mean, I only had the 2 passes, but who knows what happens? Definitely, the dirt plays a part, you know. But I wish I made it back for the afternoon. I couldn't. You know, my daughter had a graduation at UB. I couldn't come back. But when Maddie went back, they were cutting the real nice prepped timbers, the ones that were like 10 feet long, perfectly square, nice even wood, no knots or anything like that. So that, you know, would have been a lot nicer on the chains. But then they started cutting like the competition does with the 3 cuts. So that was pretty cool. I'm hoping Dan up there in Norwich has a fall get together. And Justin, I'd love to take you. I mean, you'd have a blast. I mean, just unbelievable. Tell Ronnie you're busy. But just some of these saws were unbelievable. I mean, where are you going to see a 500i? You know, there's 2 of them. One guy said he got it from Sweden. The other guy, I think he said he got it from Germany because they're not sold in the States, I think, until next spring, they said. But there were 2 of them there running. So pretty cool, you know? Yeah, telephone poles. Yep. With the creosote and everything else. Yep. Well, my father worked for UI, so we had cross arms and phone poles and all that stuff, you know? But crazy. Oh, did you? Yeah. Where was the steel event, Justin? Where was that? Was that local, or did Ronnie spend the money and send you somewhere nice? It's weird though when they're brand new. You know, everyone calls steels creamsicles, you know, because of like the cream and the orange. But the newer ones, it's like pure stark white. It's weird. It almost looks like a toy, like toy plastic. You know? Oh, in Oxford, no kidding. Oh, that's cool. I know they have the warehouse in Shelton. I didn't know they had a Northeast thing up there. Cool. But lucky if you go on to OPE, Outdoor Power Equipment Forum, OPE, and look up Get Together Connecticut Chainsaw GTG Get Together 2019. All the videos are there. There's tons of them. Great footage, all kinds of stuff, good conversation, good ribbon jabbing. Go to OPE, which is Outdoor Power Equipment Forum, OPE Forum, and look under events and 2019 Connecticut GTG or Get Together, and you'll see all the different ones. Who's that, Tim? Steel guy? I didn't get to hold one, but I saw him run, and I tell you, very impressed with it. Very impressed. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, Justin, they're going for like $1,500, $1,600, something like that. Not going to be cheap, I'll tell you that. And now with all the import duties, who knows? They'll probably tack another tax onto it too. So, but the guys up there were saying sometime around spring we'll see him. So that's cool. I still want to get one of those 2511 Echoes, Justin, though, because I just like those saws. Somebody brought one. Someone actually brought one to it and was cutting with it. So for a little toy saw, though, it cuts really well, you know. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, Huskies get heavy. I mean, when I played with Maddie's 372s, I mean, you know, I'm used to the 350s and the smaller saws. They get, you get the 70, 80, 90 cubic inchers, they're heavy. You know, that magnesium and all that stuff, they're heavy. Head of Technical Services. Yeah, but he probably didn't want to slum it in Connecticut, you know. But isn't the corporate office in Shelton, though, Justin? Where's the steel corporate offices now? Didn't they have one in Shelton or something? Oh, no, that's a distribution center, I think, like a warehouse. But, yeah, fuel injection, I don't know. We'll see. Justin, have you done any of the M-Tronic stuff lately? Any electronic saws? I haven't heard too much. I mean, I remember you guys worked on one about a year or so ago. Yeah, but at least with the old carbs, you could do something with them. You play with them, you know. With fuel injection, I mean, now you're at the mercy of computers and downloads and software and all that, you know. Yeah. Yeah, it's about time, right? A lot of recalls on those. I remember you guys said you were changing those carbs out really, frequently. Finally, it's like getting the trouble code and basically just says change out carburetor. So, how many though actually are computerized though, just in a steel line? I mean, how many saws are actually Mtronic with that stuff? Like 4 or 5 different ones? I don't think there's a ton of them. Yeah, those solenoid valves. Yep, yep. Wasn't there? I think it was what, 3 different ones. There was a green, a blue, and a black or something. I remember that. Yeah, I remember the 3 different colors, and depending on what color you had, it would be a failed one or not. Oh, Sachs, Dolmar Sachs. Yeah. One thing I tell you, I saw online the other day, I was tempted. The Echo, the 650 EVL, the twin cylinder Echo. I always wanted one of those, just to have it. Some guy had one. He kept it on his shelf for 20 years and he was selling it for like 550. And I was so tempted, but then I'm like, man, what am I going to do with it? It's not really a practical saw, but just cool to have, just like a Sachs rotary chainsaw. I'd love to have a rotary chainsaw just to have, just to play with. TS 500i. Oh, for the saw? What, the twin? A 650 EVL? Oh, come on. That's crazy. Oh, like I said, they're not practical, really. Oh man, they're not practical. They're just cool because you freak people out when you show them that little plug. You take off the plug. Go, what's that? It's another spark plug, and they freak out. I just like to show it off at a show. It'd be kind of cool. But the rotary, like a Sachs rotary one with the rotary engine in it, that would be kind of cool. But yeah, just like the other day, Justin, there was a 372 XP with like no hours on it in Bridgeport at the pawn shop. Guy had it on Facebook classified, $200. I called up, it's still available. Yeah. I go, will you hold it for me? He goes, yeah. I said, okay. And then something came up at work. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't leave. So I called back in about a half hour and I said to him, I said, no, I can't make it. He goes, oh, it's already gone. $200 for like a mint 372 XP. I could have shot myself for that, you know? But, oh, you know what I saw today? Speaking of fire department, that Echo that has the angled blade on it for cutting roofs and rafters and things. I had never seen one of those before that the firefighters use. A guy has one on Craigslist somewhere in Connecticut here, Justin. He was only asking, I think, $300 for it. Yeah, the QV. Yep. Yeah, he had one today on Craigslist. New Haven County, I think it was. He wanted like $300 for it or something like that. I guess you could modify the cut wood, even though they say don't. But yeah, vent saw. Okay. Oh, they did. Yeah, I see. The cases are gray, the old style, the gray cases. It looked pretty cool though. And then I looked at the manual. It's pretty cool. Is it the 660 EVL or six? Yeah, the twin. That's what. Yeah, Justin said he could have had one for $50. Oh my God, I would have killed to have one for $50. But I just like the look of them. It freaks people out when they see there's 2 pistons. But you know, not really practical. I mean, do you really take advantage of all that power? I don't know. I think it was more hype than anything, but just cool looking, something for a show, something to, show people and have some fun. Oh man. Hey, Justin, one of my lead men at work said he dropped some tires off with you. His name's Mark. I got to talk to you about it when I see you. I don't know. I asked him to drop him off at your place. He said he did for a Husqvarna. He was looking for tires. I got to see. I told him to stop by your place because we're going to go online. I said, yeah, how are you going to mount them? I said, just go to L&R. No big deal. TS 410. Yeah, pull the crap out of it. That's for sure. I was watching one of Craig's videos and he was running the Husqvarna 372 and it must have taken him literally, oh God, 15 pulls to get that thing going. It was something. Unreal. Oh boy. Hey Justin, when did they stop actually making Toro tractors and went to all zero turn? Was that like 5 years ago or something? I know they had the classic series where they had the old like 312.8 and stuff like that, but When did they really start, stop making them? Was it recent or was it like 15 years ago? 2012. Okay. Yeah, because someone I worked on a Toro lawn tractor, like a 1542 or something like that, but it was like 2008, 2009. I didn't know. That's kind of sad though. Everyone's going to the zero turn. No one's really doing tractors anymore. So pretty soon there's just going to be two or three brands, and that's going to be it. So, oh man, I got to try that compression tester out too on all those saws just to see what it's pushing. Mm. Yeah, and I hear. Oh, they're getting rid of it. I heard they're going to Yamaha engines in the big. Oh, the out of the smaller tractor. I heard they're still going to make the larger garden tractors, but they're going to have Yamaha engines, is what I understand. Oh, 84. That's a big saw. When you talking, Justin? Like next year or a couple years? I wonder what Benedict's is going to do because I know they sell quite a few of those. Oh, Justin, you're gonna laugh at this. I saw Jim over at Benedict's, and I needed a. You guys were out of the primer bulbs. Ronnie said you guys were out, so I went in over to see Jim, and I needed one. I wanted to have an extra one for the 346 just in case, because it looked like it might be cracked. He gives me this one. There was two different ones in the package. One was just the regular. He didn't have the Walbro, so he gave me one. Was both in Husqvarna packages, so I knew the price was going to be crazy. Anyway, one of them was a regular primer bulb, but it looked kind of funky. It didn't look right. It looked small. So I said, no, not that one. The other one had a little piece of hose to it. Okay. Like that's used on the pull-on saws, the cheap saws that use those little 26 carburetors. Anyway, the little primer bulb with 2 inches of hose. I go down the cash register. She types it in, $24.99. I said, whoa, 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 I'm not buying 10 of them, honey. I said, I'm only buying one. And she goes, well, that's what it is. So she calls up Jim upstairs and she goes, Jim, customer is upset. A primer bulb is coming up $25. And he goes, no, $4.99. Well, needless to say, I said, okay. I get back home. I go online with that part number. It's $25. I couldn't believe it. It's a primer bulb with 2 inches of like thick plastic hose on it. $25. Unbelievable. I said, what the heck's it for? Unbelievable. I felt bad, but I was like, I'm not paying $25 for a primer bulb. I go on Amazon, get one for $1.99. Usually I just come up to your place for $3, $4 and get one. But my God, I couldn't believe it. So like I said, I went online. I said, where does it go? Like where used? What's it belong to? It's all cheap saws, like Poulon Wild Things and Wood Sharks and all the cheap stuff. But $24.99 for a primer bulb and a 2-inch piece of hose that goes into the side of the car. But I was like, my God. I actually have it still in the package. I haven't even unwrapped it. I'll show you when next time I see it. But yeah, $24.99. Husqvarna part number or AYP. So, but what I noticed too, and this is pretty cool, Red Max, it's all the same now. You go on and type in the same number, but type in Red Max instead of Husky, it's cheaper. All right. I bought a bunch of parts that had a Husky part number, and I put in Husqvarna part number. Here's the prices. I type in the same part number, Red Max, same exact part number because it comes from the same place. Boom, $5 less, $10 less. It was crazy, ridiculous. And the funny thing is, when the parts came, they actually came in Husky boxes with a Red Max sticker with a part number on it. So interesting. Yeah, I could bet they're panicking. I'm sure. Oh boy. Yeah, it's crazy. And Red Max good saws and good blowers. I love their blowers. But I don't know. We'll see. The guy that I got the 359 from gave me a Red Max backpack, a 441 or 430 backpack. And it looked like he left it outside for 10 years. I'm going to do it. It needs a carb, needs this, needs that. It doesn't even have an air cleaner on it. I'm going to strip all the hardware off it because it has some similar screws to the Husky saws and stuff like that. So I'm going to strip all the hardware off and just throw it out because it's not worth it. I mean, it probably cost me $50 in parts just to get it running. and it's like a baby blower. It's not even a real like a 701 or an 8 series. So I'm just going to strip all the hardware. That's another thing too. I went on eBay and I was looking. People are actually packaging Husqvarna hardware from saws. Like if they strip down a 350, they'll sell the hardware for $30. And I was like, phew. But look what the hardware's going for. One screw, Randy, $12. Crazy. So, I guess if you spend $30 and you get 100 screws, it's worth it. So, oh, cool. I hope you do. Yeah. I only need a couple. But I got a part number. I'll text you the part number. It's the ones, they're the captive screws. You got the little shoulder on it, but it's got the Philister head, like the flat Philister head. But anywho. Yeah, I'm sure Jim has a whole pile of them there, but I'm not going to spend $4 a piece on screws. But that's why Maddie was saying too, he'll buy them from HL Supply when they have them, but otherwise he'll see a carcass or something on eBay for $10 and just buy it for the hardware. There was actually a cover. I was thinking about it. It's on eBay now for a 350? I think it's 350 cover, but it's got the 4 screws. $16 buy it now with $5 shipping. I was like, I should offer the guy $10 and then the 5 for shipping, $15. It actually pays for itself. Anyhow. Oh, I was looking at the 262 XP. The only thing wrong with it, the starter cover, the pull start cover has one missing rib is missing. Not that I'm anal, but it's missing a rib, Yeah, that's true. And especially when you need it at the end of the day and you don't have it. But you know what's screwy too, Justin? They're saying how on some of these, the 346 XPs, half of them were built with coarse threaded screws and half were built with fine thread. The newer ones with the primer bulbs and the newer series ones, I think 2005 or 6 and up, have fine thread machine screws in there instead of the coarse thread. And I guess they hold better. So I just don't like when they use those plastic screws, the ones with the real coarse thread, they look like drywall screws because they always, get loose. Oh, man. Yeah, steel, definitely. Yeah, you could have the same saw with 2 different serial numbers and have different screws in it, Oh. All right. What else is going on? What are you doing tomorrow on your day off, Justin? Anything good? It's supposed to be a beautiful day, another 70-degree day. Hopefully you take advantage of it. Screw bin for saws and oh, no kidding. I love rotary. I mean, I have the catalogs from years ago. I love in the back where you can see what the actual price people pay for stuff. It's crazy when you think about it. Body work to do. Oh, when's the parade? Oh, what do you mean for Memorial Day parade? What day is your parade? Are you having it on Monday or are you having it Sunday? Monday. But it sucks. Do you guys have the flybys anymore? Because I think didn't the governor put the kibosh on that? We haven't had flybys in a couple of years. I still love when they had the A-10 Warthogs come by. And one year they actually had a Blackhawk come by. But we haven't had flybys in about 3 years. Budget cuts. Yeah, it was cool. The A-10 Warthogs, it was like thunder. They just like come right over the place. It was pretty cool. Yeah, usually we'll sit up there in Town Hall, Trumbull, and watch the parade go by. But kids are older now, so those days are long gone. Oh, well, Rotary, Tim? I've never seen a Rotary parts truck. Stens I've seen. The place up in Massachusetts. I forget the name. The dealer's up there. Connolly or whatever his name is, or Conlon. Justin don't know. The guys that everyone deals with up in Massachusetts. But I think they're the Kohler dealer and Briggs dealers and stuff like that up there, the warehouse. Gardner, yeah, that's one of them too. Gardner, yep. Yeah, I know. My buddies used to order stuff. He worked for Schmitz and Seraphine, and he would order stuff and get it like the next day from those guys. Bonds distributors. Yeah, Rotary. I mean, I used to use a lot of their mower blades because they were big on mower blades years ago. But then you look, and they started making everything. Well, getting it from China, but started selling everything. then Sten's got into it, and Sten sells everything, and you know. Like what though, Justin? We mean, what kind of parts? Oh, forget Stens for belts. It was funny. I'm working on a John Deere 160 right now with the Kawasaki engine, and the guy said, "Oh, the belt was smoking, this and that." The primary belt is a half-inch belt that goes from the engine to the double. They call it a slave pulley or whatever you want to call it, and then the bottom of the pulley connects everything on the deck, two-blade deck. It calls out a half-inch by 68 or something belt to be the secondary belt on the deck. This guy had a 3/8 section belt. Oh, it's slipping. It's not cutting good. You got a 3/8 belt on it, dude. It's not a half-inch belt. I love when people they line it up at the auto parts store, see something the same length, and they figure it'll work. But 3/8 versus half, come on. And you could tell it got sucked into like the very bottom of the pulley where a 3/8 would fit in a half-inch pulley, and just got mutilated, And he was wondering why it was smoking and not working right. Crazy. That's what I love when you type in a Deere number, M17225 or whatever it is. All of a sudden, 50,000 brands come up. Those orange and white labeled Kevlar belts and all that other stuff, and then Tractor Supply with their blue belts. I've seen people use those before too. Timmy, I worked on the plastic trans in a John Deere D105. In fact, I have a video on it. If you look back on my videos, the variator, the one I did was called, I think it was an RT400. They don't make it anymore. Okay. They now make like an RS 800 or something. But the variator, all right, the variator pulley had a heavy spring on it. The whole assembly with a spring under tension was held in with an M4 screw, real teeny screw, little button head on the top. Big washer compressing a huge spring for the variator drive. Okay. Well, the heads were popping off the screws were backing out. The heads were popping through the washer. The one that happened to me was a guy brought it in, a friend of a friend at work, and the screw broke off inside the output shaft where the variator was. And he tried drilling it out. It just not successful. All right. So my buddy Rich, great welder, I tell everyone about him. My buddy Rich, he TIG welded on a 3/8 16 stud. And then I put a nylock nut with a heavy washer on top for the spring. Worked perfect. Guy loves it. But that was a flaw with that. It's a little M4 screw. And what they tell you to use, there's many videos on that transmission, but they tell you to use crazy glue, an anaerobic crazy glue, to glue in the screw instead of like a red Loctite or something. But still, the screw, Terrell, in fact, look at Terrell's video from last week. He just did a video on that D105 where the screw the washer popped off the screw head. But you could look at Terrell's video, you'll see. Yeah, that's what Terrell's video was on last week. I emailed him too, or texted him, whatever the hell it was over there. And I told him, I said, Terrell, you gotta watch because those M4 screws are just crap. So he gave me a thumbs up, though, for TIG welding on that 3/8. But now with the 3/8 stud, that sucker's never coming off. So, trying to he didn't have a model number of the equipment, so you could just look it up. Do you guys have one of those plastic things, right, Justin? It looks like a shoe sizer, the thing that goes up and down so you could size the belts. The 800 isn't horrible, but it's a lot better than the 400. At least with the 800, it's a beefier variator that's less prone to popping apart. That's the change they did. They got rid of the 400. They brought the 800 out. Yeah, there's nowhere to fill it. They definitely, another guy, I think it was 65 Ford or one of those guys, had the seals come out. His was terrible, though. I've never seen the end seals on that plastic trans go so bad. I mean, it was literally pouring out fluid, A 70s Tiller. That's crazy. You might as well send them up the road to Tractor Supply. They've got all the blue belts up there. They can match them out. I'm sure they got something up there because they have 4,000 of those blue belts up there. So, oh, really? No shit. With the oil, just gets into them, just makes them all soft and gummy. Wow. Yeah, it was the first time I had worked on that plastic type of general transmission. Guy brought it in because he what did he do? The problem he had with his was it wouldn't go forward or reverse because the foot pedal wasn't returning all the way and there was no return spring. If you pulled the pedal up with your toe, you go forward, reverse on the right side, no problem. But if you kept the thing where it was just linking, it would lock. You couldn't pull it in the gear. Yeah, but Justin, how many people clean those things? None. Everybody I see with a Peerless or something, they're terrible. They're filthy. Today, I was working on that 160. The little disc brake on the side, literally the outside brake pad, those little Peerless brake pads look like little bricks, was missing. There was no outside. The guy almost went into the street down his hill. He said, I had no brakes. I said, well, what the hell have you been doing for the past few years? He never took it out of gear. It'd always be in gear. But this time he hit the pedal. Woo! He freewheeled. So I took it apart. There was literally no brake pad on the outside. And on the inside, the disc, the little disc brake, the 2.5-inch disc or whatever it is, was frozen on the splines. I couldn't take it out. So I ended up squirting the hell out of it with WD, put a little heat on, and I finally used a puller and I pulled it off. But I'm just waiting now. I've got the splines on the disc soaking in rust veto, or no, what is it? Rust, Evapo rust. Because the splines right now are so crusty and rusty, it should slide freely so that the brake, when you push on the pedal, that cam can go in and out easily with those pins. Right now, the splines are so rusty, I can't even get the disc back on. It's that tight. So I got it soaking in Evapo rust overnight, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I love old crap, I tell you. As long as someone wants to pay me, I don't care. But oh gosh, what else? Talked about the generator. Justin, you ever work on the I was talking, I don't know if you were on earlier, a Generac. All right, I'll talk to you later. I'll probably be up the shop Saturday. I'll probably see you Saturday. I always got to come up for parts. I'll talk to you later. All right, take care, Justin. Anyone needs parts in Connecticut, L&R, Monroe, Connecticut, Main Street, say hi to Ronnie and Justin. Good guys. What else is going on? We got the saws. Oh, I'm trying to think what else. My snapper mower. I don't know if you guys ever are into snappers at all, but I love snapper rear engine riders. I've loved them since I was a kid. I never had one until I was here and married, but I've got to do the axle boots. There's like plastic boots that protect the axles from rusting, and they just get torn over time. I got to replace those. But you got to take half the rear end apart to put them on. So that's a job I'm going to do. I frequent a guy's channel named Jim Jackson. If anyone's familiar with snapper rear engine riders, Jim Jackson worked at a snapper place, and now he has his own channel, and it's called Jim's Fix It Shop, Jim Jackson. And he's got a lot of info on snapper rear engine riders if anyone's interested. And he's a big Pepsi fan. Every time he comes in the video, got to have a bottle or a can of Pepsi. So that's pretty cool. I'm a Pepsi fan too, not a Coke fan. I'm a Pepsi fan. So anyway, just like Steve's Small Engine Saloon, where every video starts with a beer. So that's his MO. That's pretty cool though. He's got some decent videos too. Anyway. Looks like we're coming up on the magic 1 hour mark here, guys. What else you want to talk about? See, 3 guys are here. Who's left? We got Timmy left. Who else? I'm trying to see. Who else is actually here? Nicky should have gone to bed by now because he has to get to work in the morning. He's 5 hours ahead of us, so it's 1 in the morning in Ireland there. So it's probably just me and Tim and maybe 1 or 2 others if Lucky's on. Lucky may still be on. Oh boy. I figure if Maddie is home and had his dinner yet, he may chime in. To be in Georgia, have you worked on? You know what? I have. I actually have worked on the snapping turtles. Yep. The old ones from 58, 59. I actually did work on a couple of those. Interesting ones. And the original ones, the push ones with the front looks like almost like a turtle head on it or whatever. It's got those like bars that hang down the front to like rake the grass or something. Pretty cool units. And it's funny, you talk about Snapper. Years ago, I don't know if you know, they had a promotional thing years ago with Brett Favre for Snapper. Brett used to be like a spokesman for Snapper when he was with the Green Bay Packers. They had a promotion that you had to say something good about Snapper rear engine riders or something like that, and you could win a hat that said Snapper. I won one. I actually got a pre-typed letter from Brett Favre. Oh, congratulations, you won the hat. I still got the hat. I'll wear it next time I do a video. It's pretty cool. I like the hat. It's a cool hat. It's actually got the picture of the turtle. So pretty cool. V21. Wow. That's historic. I think there was one guy went online. He did the history of Snapper. He had like one model of everything. I don't know if they have a museum there at the plant, but he showed like one model of everything from the 50s till now. It was pretty cool. Oh, he's live now? All right, I'm going to sign off then, guys. I'm going to go on Matt's. I don't want to take up any of his time. So, guys, thanks for chiming in and all that. I'm going over to Matt's channel now if you want. Matty O, Matt Olson, and we'll see you guys over there. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.